It was a warm spring evening and cherry blossoms were blossoming, wafting a beautiful scent of cherries in every direction in the deep, dense forest. The forest was peaceful and full of new life. It was early spring, and with the season changing, the forest was all hustle and bustle. Apples! Come and get your apples! Locally grown, crisp, juicy apples, called Raccoon. Water comes in a beautiful hand-carved bowl right out of the one and only Grand Oak. Pure fresh water, announced Fox. But on the other side of the buzzing marketplace, a fawn was born. He was the son of Opal, the doe that was the gentlest and kindest of all the animals. His little deer was soon named Kopu after his father. He would be ruler of the forest when he grew older, but for now he'd just be known as the Prince of the Forest. All of the animals for miles around gathered to see the precious fawn, even grumpy old Badger, who rarely came out of his hole. It seemed like the whole forest was there, and the crowd looked like it stretched for miles. Warm wind carried this way and that, gently blowing animals' fur and ruffling birds' feathers. Later that night, all the forest animals gathered at the sacred stump in the middle of the forest for a community meeting as they did every week. Squirrel was talking about how they needed to have more paths and where they should place the paths. He went on, and no one else had any time to put in anything else. Finally, Skunk blurted, "Hey, Squirrel, why don't you close your nut hole and let someone else talk for once?" "Yeah, that's right, I'm talking to you, you pea brain. You have a brain the size of a walnut. You eat walnuts." Squirrel was speechless. "You animal," he spluttered. But Skunk replied, "I'll take that as a compliment," sitting up a little straighter. Now Squirrel was as mad as a fox whose hair just got stolen from him. The fuzz on his back stood straight up with embarrassment and anger. He got up from his seat, a stump on the branch of a tree. All of the animals had a special seat except one of them. Guess who? Skunk. See, Skunk was never a warm and friendly type of animal. He could be in any mood but happy and friendly. He was only happy sometimes deep in his burrow, where he would admire his silky, beautiful black coat and a shard of glass that he found on the edge of the forest one day. So he got mad at some animals sometimes for the littlest things, like forgetting to put out one chair in this case. And he always needed to boast to everyone, at least once every day, about his beautiful silky coat. At the next forest meeting, Skunk did not come. "I do not need to come to a meeting to hear a rotten squirrel blab about nothing," thought Skunk. Squirrel and all the animals thought that Skunk needed to be punished for his squirrel ways. First came Opal. "Why not leave a mark, one that will stay forever, but not injure him, just to teach him a lesson," she added quickly. All the animals stared out in awe at Opal. That was the most violent thing they had ever heard her say. Her cheeks turned pink with embarrassment. Then came Raccoon. "Wait, you need to know some important information before I type this. Raccoon is not the gentle, friendly, not-to-be-ashamed type. He's kind of violent, and no one would ever listen to him and take his advice. Okay, so here's what he said. Why don't we just shave him bald by setting fire to his fur? I mean, what could be easier?" They ignored him, and after he was done talking, the other animals put in their ideas. Finally, it was Squirrel's turn to offer his suggestion. "We will invite him to dinner at my house, and we will cut his hair with a lawnmower that we see as a high-tech razor. He will be delighted at the idea of a haircut when we send him the best barber in the forest." Raccoon. At first, everyone was silent. Then everyone erupted into cheers and high paws and feathers and hooves. Wait, you didn't let me finish. Raccoon will leave 2 stripes of fur on him, then dye it white, and his black fur will grow back around it, so it will just be 2 embarrassing stripes on his back. It was unanimously agreed that the dinner party would be held the next day whenever the sun is at its highest. The next day, when the sun was at its highest, Raccoon headed to Skunk's burrow. and dropped the invitation down the burrow, where he listened to Skunk reading it to himself. Ooh, a trip to the barber's. I need the ends to be defined. I should ask him for highlights. Ah, shady auburn would be nice. No, a redwood tree. No, let's just dye it even blacker. Oh, Raccoon, called Skunk. Could we get going? I need to stop home before the dinner party, so we better get started right now. Don't worry, we've got a long 20 minutes ahead of us, replied Raccoon, giggling just quiet enough for Skunk not to hear him. When they got to Raccoon's house, Raccoon realized that he had forgotten to hide the lawnmower, so he quickly hid it behind a rocking chair.
Okay. I want to show you this one that we noticed.
All right, let's get started. He sat Skunk down in a barber's chair and went to fetch the lawnmower. I've got the very best razor in the world. It will make beautiful, elegant trims that will last a very long time. Skunk got comfy in his chair and said, "Ready." Raccoon started. It was a matter of seconds till he was done with the cutting. Would you like any highlights? He asked, knowing that Skunk would say yes. Yes, I thought you'd never ask. Midnight black all over, please. Raccoon got out the white dye. He twisted the lid. He opened it, and he poured the white dye all over of what was left of Skunk's beautiful coat. All done, but don't look in the mirror. I want it to be a surprise, and everyone will admire your silky black coat, said Raccoon, trying not to laugh out loud. Thank you, Raccoon. I really appreciate it, said Skunk. Not for long. Phew, I'm glad that's over, thought Raccoon. But then he started feeling guilty. Oh well, that's just the side effects of revenge. But he deserves it, and with that, he did his evil laugh. The animals were still preparing the party when they heard a knock on the door. Who is it? They called. It's Skunk, called Skunk. Squirrel nodded to Hare to agree to let Skunk in. Hare nodded to Monkey. Monkey nodded to Gazelle. Gazelle nodded to Blue Jay. Blue Jay nodded to Goose. Goose nodded to Duck. Duck nodded to Raccoon. Raccoon nodded to Badger. Badger nodded to Hedgehog. Hedgehog nodded to Porcupine. Porcupine nodded to Canary. Canary nodded to Squirrel. Squirrel opened the door and let Skunk in. Everyone burst into laughter when they laid their eyes on Skunk. Confused, Skunk asked, "Why is everyone laughing?" When they laid their eyes on Skunk. "See it for yourself," said Opal, handing him a mirror, trying not to laugh. Ah! What did Raccoon do to me? My beautiful coat. No, it can't be. I'm going home. This party was a doozy. The Skunk is out. All Squirrel could say was, "Wow." And that is how Skunk got its stripes.